And we're back with our second episode of Making Theater podcast. I'm your host, Ian Ernsberger, and today I'm joined by Aaron Moreland, Susan Moreland, and Kate Ernsberger as we discuss our top 10 favorite musicals of all time. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to do this. This is our top 10 favorite musicals of all time. Let's go Beauty Before Age, and we'll start with Susan.
Oh, I'm not sure I get that, but okay, I'll take it. Okay, well, I'm going to start backwards. And first, I have to start by saying I used to not even like musicals at all. So
I still don't really, but I like a couple.
I know, but they're kind of growing on me, and they grow on me more and more. And so I'm going to say my number 10 is just a fun musical, Drowsy Chaperone.
Aha! We knew that would be on your list.
Yeah, I knew
You knew that would be on my list, yes, because
Yeah.
I'm in love with Adolfo.
It's a great show. It's a fun
is.
little show. I
It's
would
just
love
a-
to do that.
I've listened to some
feel-good
of it. It's
show,
nice.
Real feel-good show. Number 9, quite
Oh,
the
no,
opposite.
we're only going one at a time. We're going down.
Oh,
the list.
okay. Okay.
So that is a good one. Number 10 was Drowsy Chaperone for Susan. Let's go with we'll go with Aaron. We'll go right down the line.
All
The
right.
video.
Actually, it's a crossover with Aaron. So my number 10 was Shrek.
Nice.
You're gonna find a lot of these because I also am not the biggest connoisseur of musicals. So you're gonna find that a lot of these I've done.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to have. I think we're going to have crossover. I really do.
Yeah.
We're going to have crossover.
Yeah. When you do a musical, you get connected to it. Like I used to absolutely, it's not going to be on my list, but I used to absolutely hate West Side Story. But then I did it and I really enjoyed it. But I mean, it's not on my top, but I liked it because I have fond memories of it and whatnot. But yeah, Shrek is definitely in my top 10. The music is awesome. And when we did it, the costuming and just the audience reaction, it's a feel-good show. It just, everyone knows it. Everyone's connected to it. It's got great inside jokes for the adults. It's got great jokes for the kids. It's a great musical. Shrek, number 10, crossover with Aaron.
All right, Kate, what is your top 10? Your number 10?
This is very hard for me. Y'all probably know I love musicals, so this was very hard for me. Number 10 has a lot of sentimental value to me. A lot of people despise this show. It is dated, but I love it. It's a big part of why I like musicals and why I started singing. So my number 10 is The Sound of Music.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I really like it. I'm going to probably upset purists and say that I do enjoy the movie more than the stage show. I think it's put together better as a narrative in the movie as opposed to the stage show. But yeah, my number 10 is The Sound of Music.
The church scene alone, the wedding scene alone in the movie is just gorgeous to look at.
Yeah, I mean, it's, they were able to do all that kind of, and actually like film in an abbey and in Salzburg.
And actually see a hill. There was actually a hill to be alive on.
Correct.
So, okay, that was a good one.
Well, and next summer we should be able to do it.
Yes, next summer we should be able to do it.
The pandemic is over.
Yes. All right, so my number 10, which is funny enough, we have a triple crossover.
Hey-o.
It is Shrek. The music is amazing in that show. The dialogue is great in that show. The characters are so fun. Donkey is okay. But I mean, there's a small part in it he's a great guy. He's just misunderstood. He's shorter than everyone else, but he's a great character. No, it's a wonderful show. It's something that I think when they did it, everyone wanted to see the movie, and it is, and it isn't. And I think that's what made it better. I actually like it more than the movies now, because I feel like it has more heart than the movies.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Just that end of Act 1 song has more heart than I think all 4.
Oh, the end of Act 1 song?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Who I'd
that's,
be.
that's a
Yeah.
nice
Called Who I'd
moment.
Be.
Yeah, which is
I'd
it's
be.
better than
Yeah.
all 4 of the Shrek movies with heart.
Yeah.
So that was my number 10. Number 9, we will start with Susan again. That's your cue.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go a little dark on this, but I absolutely love it.
Oh, all right.
And I absolutely love that I got to see all 3 of you show at another theater, and that would be Sweeney Todd.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that might be a little bit higher up on someone's list.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great choice. That's a strong show. I love that show. Good choice. Yeah. See, I can't ridicule anybody. We all have good choices. Man, even if not being a big fan of Sound and Music.
Brigadoon. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
That is on no one's list.
We're all jumping ship there.
It's not even on my grandma's list, and
I know.
she's Scottish. All right, Aaron Moreland, what is your number 9?
All right, so this one's interesting because I actually don't know all the songs to the show, and I've never seen the entire show, but I've seen bits of it. But every time I see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to listen to this whole show, and there are multiple roles that I would love to play in it. And the music's awesome from what I've heard, but that says something about it. If you've not seen the whole show, and it's still in your top 10, and it's Assassins. Freaking
Yeah,
Every
Assassins
time
is a wonderful show.
every time I listen or see a section of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. And I want to play him. Oh, I want to play him. Oh, I'd like to play him. You know, there's just so many-
Assassins is wonderful, and I didn't even consider that for my list, but
Yeah.
it's
I know. See,
It's not in my list
hard.
now. Kate Ernsberger, Redfield Ernsberger. What is your number 9?
This was also really hard. My number 9 is actually going to be Company. I
Someday
totally
I'll sing that song.
I totally respect why that kind of show is not for everybody. I just think the music in it is incredible. I'm a huge I could do a top 10 Sondheim music.
Yeah, did you notice that everyone's number 9
Um,
right now has been a Sondheim show?
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
There's just something about it that I really like. I love the music. I love the characters. I think it's a really cool way to tell a very simple story. So number 9 is Company. I forget where they're doing it too, but fun fact, if people who are listening want to do this, they're streaming the musical, the documentary they made about the original cast
Yes, I saw that.
Wow.
on YouTube sometime soon for free. So
And they will be bringing it back to Broadway with a
Yeah.
female as Bobby. My number 9, funny enough, it's another crossover.
Oh,
This is a crossover with Susan. And my number 9 is also Sweeney Todd.
yes.
all
Yay.
Sondheim.
Yeah,
This last
all
one has been all
Sondheim.
That is
Sondheim,
funny.
number 9.
Yeah.
It is my only Sondheim on the list besides my number 11, which is Into the Woods. But being able to see that show and perform in that show, I've seen it staged, I've seen the movie, I've been in it. That's, man, and I can listen to that show on repeat, even though it's really dark and, not something you should be listening to on repeat. But the music is gorgeous. I mean, the music is beautiful,
It is.
haunting. Well, number 8. We are already to number 8.
Okay.
Susan
well,
Moreland, what is your number 8?
Well, this is one that I can't say that it's musically astounding, but it's tons of fun, and it's Spam-A-Lot.
Oh,
It's a
wow. Why
great
did I not
show.
put this on my list?
Yeah.
I know.
Spam-A-Lot.
That actually surprises me, Ian.
This
If
is
you
not on
just-
my list.
If you just want to have a fun time and hear some fun music and laugh, Spam-A-Lot.
I
not
cannot.
heard it.
It's
I've not seen it.
You-
I'm not
Oh
sure.
man, Aaron, I think you'd like it actually.
You would love it.
It's right up my alley, I'm sure.
It's Monty
Yeah.
Python. I mean, and the amount of improvisation you can do in that
Yes.
show is
Mhm.
insane.
And the music is good. I mean,
Music
it
is
very
great.
much kind of I love it because it kind of pokes fun at musical theater, but it's great. It's
It fits the piece.
tuned.
It's
It
tongue in
fits the
cheek.
piece precisely. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, that's a Wow, I can't believe I don't have that on my list. I'm
Yeah, that was
disappointed.
a.
I'm disappointed in myself. All right, so
Well,
Aaron Orland.
just for that, we're going to have to do it sometime.
I
Yes.
cannot wait until we do that show.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Aaron Moreland, what is your number 8?
Number 8. We just did it in the fall. I've loved this show since the movie came out. I was actually exposed to it first through the movie, and then saw some soon after saw the stage version. And even though the stage version is very different from the movie, I like both versions. I love both versions, and that is Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Rick Moranis in the film was just amazing. Just everyone in that. The film is amazing, and the show is fantastic. I like that the theater show is darker and more in line with what the old movie that it's based off of.
Yeah. And the movie was even changed. The ending of the movie was changed so it
Yeah.
would end happily.
Yeah, I've heard test audiences. Yeah, didn't.
You
like
can
that
watch
everyone
it
got
on the
eaten.
DVD. You can watch the alternate ending on the DVD.
Oh, I gotta check that out. I've
I
never
have it at
seen that.
home. I have it. You are welcome to borrow
Do they
it.
do the song from the stage
I
version?
think
at
it
the end
is in
and
there.
Not
I
Mean
think-
Green Mother.
Well, it's an alternate ending, so I think they do. It's like a dream sequence, and then I think they go into "Don't Feed the Plants." It's really weird.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've watched it.
Yeah, I'll have to
but-
check that out.
The Short North Stage is performing it sometime whenever all this is over.
Mhm.
And Lee Wilkoff, who was the original Seymour, lives in Columbus, I guess. He did a video for them and was like, "Hey, wish you guys luck with your performance. It means a
awesome.
lot to me that the show is still going after 38 years, almost 40 years." And I was like, "That's
Wow.
amazing.
That's
That's
very
really cool.
cool.
That's really, really cool."
Yeah.
That's a good choice. I
It's-
approve of your choice. I
love
haven't been
that
able to
show.
mock anybody, and where's the fun in that? Number
Brigadoon.
number 8 for Kate. Ooh, rhyming.
My number 8 is also a crossover with Aaron's. My number 8 is Beauty and the Beast. I think I have.
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, Aaron Hollabaugh. I've just had such a good time being in that show as a silly girl. It's one, I guess I don't listen to it a lot, but I never get tired of the music. I'm never like, oh, like,
It's the best Disney.
here we go. Like, I think the adaptation they did for the stage is wonderful. I think the songs that they added for the stage show, not the movie, sorry.
The crappy 2017 version. Yeah.
But the songs they added really fit, and I love it. It makes me happy. I never get tired of it. Even though it's like Disney, I love it.
Yeah. That is one of my favorite shows I've ever been in. I've done it twice. I've stupidly done it twice, but I've done it twice.
It's not on my list, but yeah, I've had an amazing time with that show. That was
Yeah,
so.
and I'm
The
glad
music is just so good. Like,
It is. And the new songs
yeah.
that they add that aren't the Beast
they were
songs
all
especially.
originally in the movie, but they didn't
Oh, really?
cut them. Yes.
yeah.
And then they didn't
Like
do that
Home, the
stupid
Beast
Evermore,
song.
Nevermore.
All right.
Ah,
We don't need to talk about that.
so bad. Yeah. We do not speak of the evil that is the 2017 live action film.
Anyway,
Pretty. Yeah.
it's okay if you like it, listeners. It's okay.
Yes, it's okay if you like it. My number 8 is a very new show, but I have listened to this on repeat. I don't even know how many times. Oh, I wonder, Kate already has her. Yeah, she knows exactly what it is. I love this show. I want to see this show. I don't know if I want to be in it, but I want to see it. I want to direct it. I want to light it. Is Hades Town. That show is amazing. The music is amazing. The fact that it started out as a concept album, then they did a live recording, then they brought it to off-Broadway, then they brought it to Broadway. All of them are different. She kept editing and tweaking songs and it just everything about it's so good.
You introduced me to this, and yes, it is amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't believe just how good that music is.
This one may crop up, maybe crop
Yeah.
up later.
It was probably going to be higher, but the fact that I haven't physically seen it live on stage, I've seen a bootleg of it, and it's it's not the same. But all right, moving on to our number 7. Susan Moreland, what is your number 7?
Well, it's just an old-fashioned classic, one
Brigadoon.
that we're all very familiar with, and that would be Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Aw,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is a classic.
it is. It really is.
Yeah,
And I love some of
There's
the
not mu-
music in that. I really do. I mean, of course, like Somewhere Over the Rainbow and stuff, but like, it's just got good music. I love the Jitterbug. Yeah, I like it.
I'm not ridiculing. I just do not like it. I would have rather have seen the Andrew Lloyd Webber one. I just think it's darker. It's just something different. But or incorporated some of that into the show, but you're not allowed to do that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
In
There's an
London-
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah.
Wrote a version of it and still kept the songs from the original and then added a bunch of things in it. Like there was a song that the wizard sings to Dorothy. It's a very good song actually, and Bruce would have loved to have been able to have it incorporated into the show, but obviously you can't do that. But
So
it's-
you can't perform that version anywhere.
I don't
it's
think so.
just-
No.
No, and
Wow.
you can't put other music into the Arlen
Into the
version.
version, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
Or
just
the
like
Royal Shakespeare, sorry.
Royal
RSC,
Shakespeare.
But
Yeah. It's
they're-
the same thing with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. There's 5 different versions that have been available over in London alone. Then they brought it over here, and they changed it, and it was still an okay show, but it just didn't work as well. So it's hit or miss with any show that you try and revamp to make more
Right.
to modern audiences. But it is a good show. I like watching our people fly, seeing Dorothy go up in the air and the house and everything. It's really cool.
It's another one of
and
those
that
crowd
is
pleasers.
that is one of the shows that if we tried to do a different version and make changes with, I think it would disappoint our audience.
Yeah.
I do
because
too.
they-
Now we changed some things to give it a
Yeah.
little bit of zest and a little bit of get rid of some cobwebs, but we kept
Yeah.
the heart of it. So
They
Yeah.
want to
I
they want to
think-
see their memory.
Yeah. And
My
I
grandma-
think that's why it is such a good show too, because the story, whether you like it or not, is really such a classic story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
my
yeah.
grandmother remembers when she first saw it in the theater. She said she
Mhm.
ran out screaming. Not the wink, the monkeys, the little monkeys. not
Oh,
the
yeah.
The flying monkey?
They are
Yeah, the
scary.
flying monkeys. She said
I
when
was
she first saw that,
terrified.
she ran out of the theater when she was a kid.
Oh wow.
So that was, 1942, 41, probably when she got to see it in the theater. Maybe she saw it in 39. I don't know. She would have been 6.
Oh wow.
That's amazing. What would you have thought? Like, if you watch it now, you're kind of like, that's a
Oh, it's
bad
groundbreaking at the
costume, but-
time
It
too.
was.
Yeah, back then you would have like, ooh, nope, not going to deal with that. Yes, good choice. Number 7 for Mr. Aaron Moreland.
Number 7 is actually fairly new on my list because for so many years people told me that I would really like this, and especially knowing my tastes in some other musicals, they're like, Aaron, why haven't you seen this yet? So I finally have seen the movie, and I've watched clips and pieces from the theater version of it. But Into the Woods, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. I love
It's a
that
great
show.
show.
And
I wanna do that with you as the princess.
Bernadette Peters. I wish I could have seen her do that. Because didn't she play the original witch,
Yes.
She
right?
was,
Yep.
yeah, yep.
Love Bernadette Peters.
Yeah.
So anyway, that show is my number 7.
I would
And
love to
it's
sing the Princess song with you. I think the Princess Agony is just agony is
Yeah.
fun. I've done. Kate can't believe this that I've actually done. Being I don't like musicals. I've done 3 Sondheim shows now in my
Wow, yeah.
lifetime.
You
and
diving
that was
in the
one of
deep
them.
end of the pool.
So, all right. So, Kate Ernsberger, what is your number 7?
My number 7 is one that a lot of people will not like. But again,
Ooh, here we go. I get to ridicule.
I think I have a lot of the musicals I think are on this list are because I've been in it, or I have a really sentimental attachment to it with regards to like my love of theater. So my number 7 is actually Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Okay.
The narrator is one of my dream roles still. Probably a little too old for it now, but I think the music's great. I know it's probably a little dated and like people think it's maybe a little bit too like musically and peppy, but I was completely captured by it. I was obsessed with it for like a year. I got to do a youth version of it where I played one of the narrators. And I really like it. It always makes me happy when I listen to it again. Got some really good tunes in it. So yeah, Joseph, a lot of people will not agree with that at all.
No,
We
there's
all
a
just
couple
sit here in
people
silence.
making face. We're not really
See?
original at
Thanks.
all. I'm
Thanks,
just not a
guys.
fan of any of those shows. I don't like.
I get it, and I get it. I really do. Again, it's a lot of it is not necessarily based on like its merit. A lot of it is based on my sentimental attachment to it, which I guess maybe I shouldn't put on there, but that's why it's on there. It's meant a lot to me over the years. So
And Kate, that's why we all each have our own individual list.
exactly.
Exactly. That's the
I mean,
fun
is it
of
one
these.
that I'm like, let's listen to Joseph in the car? No, but
I don't think that would happen.
well, no, but I just mean in general.
But you can throw headphones on.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Good choice. Good choice for fans of that show. My number 7 is actually a show I have been in and that I have seen. And there's something about it that I really, really like. And that is Addams Family. I really love the music in that show. Happy Sad is such a good song.
It's a great song.
Having to see Aaron though, while I'm singing the song,
Crying in the wings. Father, I know how
hands
that
in his
feels.
pockets, just staring at me, and I'm like, okay. But that is just one of my favorite songs I've gotten to sing. I like all the music in it. That opening number is amazing. The end number is amazing. The tango, the Broadway one, no. The Squid song, no. The Let's Not Talk About Anything But Love, that's a fun song. But it went through so many changes to get to where it is to be that good show. Because I even like, Crazier Than You, every song in it is just fun. The Moon and Me, they're fun, pretty songs. And even all of anything Kelly sang, anything that Morticia sang was great. So
that would be interesting to do another top 10 of favorite songs from musicals.
Oh, it's on there.
Because
it's
like Happy Sad would probably be in that because it's just such a.
I have that. I have a top 10 musical songs and then a top 10 overrated songs. That one I'm excited for because I am intrigued to see how people. The reason why I'm doing a lot of these is so we can get to know more about all of you, all of the people in our group. That's why we're doing these. So I do kind of want to hear, where we differ in our opinions when it comes to what we think is overrated. And I'm going to do overrated musicals, overrated plays, favorite roles that you see in a show, in a musical or a play, just to really kind of show different aspects of our group and get an idea of what it is we like and what we like to see on stage and perform. So, or be performed for us.
Yeah.
So that is my number 7. It actually was higher, but I moved it down because of something else. But I love Addams Family. Okay, that's all I can say about that one. So number 6, Susan Moreland. What is your number 6 favorite musical?
For number 6, because of the time period that it's set in, and just the fun nature of the show would be Bye Bye Birdie.
That is a good show. It really
is. It's a fun show. I've done it twice.
It is a great,
it's
a really
it's
good
a fun
show.
little show.
I think one of the things I really liked when we actually did it was that most of the young people that were in the show had never heard of some of the concepts that were in the show, such as Birdie, being like Elvis, and the hysteria about rock and roll at the time, and all that good stuff. So that's my number 6.
Show. It's a fun little show. Some of the songs are great. Some of the songs are meh. some of the like
I love
the,
the music actually.
the Shriner dance, as funny as it is, and her little like dance that she does, I've always felt that was way too long.
Yes.
Just
Right,
because
yeah.
it's so just like, oh, look at this is happening. All right, Mr. Aaron Moreland, what is your number 6?
Well, you can blame my mom for this one because she absolutely loves it. I'm sure it's probably going to be higher up on her list. Not 100% sure, but I watched this thing a ton of times in high school, and a chorus line.
Yeah, I know where this is on Susan's, most likely. I know where this
Yeah,
is on
man.
Bruce's, which is why I didn't invite him either, because I
Just-
was like,
ju-
I know what yours is.
Just sheer constant listening to this in high school. When I was young, I think just drilled it into my psyche that I have to like this show.
Triple
Which I
threats.
think it's
Triple
great.
threats.
It's a great piece where a lot of different types of performers can show. You know, I don't know. I like it.
All right, Kate, what is your number 6?
My number 6 is The Scarlet Pimpernel.
I didn't put
I-
it on.
I'm not sure that a ton of people know this show. It had a rough start and went through a few changes when it went on tour and still didn't really take off. But I found this show because my freshman year of high school, my show choir, which I was not in because I was a freshman, did Songs of the French Revolution. And I don't know if you guys know the story of the Scarlet Pimpernel, but he was an Englishman who saved French aristocrats. He kind of helped out the people that he could. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling, but it is a story of this kind of foppish guy who is a Scarlet Pimpernel, but has to put up a disguise. The music is great. The costuming is wonderful. It's just a lot of fun. And the opening song is one of my favorite opening songs. It's called Madame Guillotine. You can listen to it on Spotify. It's really good.
They legit bring a guillotine on stage and cut people's heads off.
Yes.
It looks so real. And you
Wow.
just have a lot of chorus members.
Get the original, like if you can, because I think there's 2 different versions, but
Terrence Mann.
Terrence
in the
Mann plays like, I wouldn't say he's the villain, but he's like the Javert kind of character, like the foil.
Yeah.
There's a great song called Falcon in the Dive. It's a really good musical. If you
You
haven't had a
Falcon,
chance
the
to
music is
listen
good.
to it and you like that kind of thing, definitely listen to it.
I saw it in Broadway in '99, and it was right after all the original cast left. But it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that one.
Very good
I'll have
music.
to look
It's
into
very
that.
good.
My number 6, and I have a feeling it's probably going to be higher on Kate's list. But my number 6 is Hamilton. I really like Hamilton. I liked it before it was cool, and now it's not cool. I guess it's past being cool now. Is that what people are saying?
Well, they're about to show it. A whole new group of people, I think, are going to really
yes.
start digging it because they're going to show it on Disney Plus.
Yes.
What,
excited.
July? June or
July
July?
3rd.
July
July 3rd.
Mm.
But I have now seen it. I have listened to the music since, like I said before, it was popular, I guess. It's so good. It's so good. If I could play the king in that, I would in an instant. If I could play Thomas Jefferson, I would in an instant. It's just amazing music. It's an amazing story. The book is boring because it's like 9,000 pages long, but it kept his attention enough to write this amazing show. It's fantastic. Every person should see this show. Everyone, every student, every adult, doesn't matter, should see that show.
I haven't seen it. I tried to listen to the music and I sat there listening to it and thought, this is something I have to see. I can't
It's weird to
visualize
yeah.
or like kind of. I think I'm going to love it, but I don't think I'm ever going to give it a chance until
Yeah.
it's actually been.
You will get to see
I
it
know
with
a
the
lot
best
of
of the
people
best.
who are like that. Yes.
Yeah,
I
room where it
think that's how
happens.
we will celebrate 4th of July this year. We'll just watch
Yes.
Hamilton on the 3rd,
That's what everyone's going to be doing.
There's your Hamilton shirt.
socially distant.
Yep.
Yep.
But
Socially distant.
That
Watch
show,
Party.
yeah, the Room Where It Happens, Wait for It, just you know, all of his song, all of the songs.
And
Some of those songs are in my top 10 favorite songs of all time.
and
Wow.
like the thought, I'm a huge Hamilton nerd, sorry, but just the work that Lin-Manuel Miranda and Alex Laxmore did to put all different kinds of styles of music actually in it and weave it with the music of the period and rap. I just think it's so good.
Yeah.
And very cool.
All right, so we are now into the top 5. So these better be these better be really good.
Okay.
And this is, I guess, where some of us are going to cross over even more, maybe. So Susan Moreland, what is your number 5 favorite musical of all time?
So this really will be a crossover, and I'm going to say Beauty and the Beast.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Great show. Great show.
Really is.
Solid.
But you weren't ever in that, were you? You weren't in either one.
No, I had a lot to do with production
Yeah,
and things,
yeah.
but no, not really. I certainly enjoyed watching it, and we must have liked it a lot. We've done it twice too.
Right?
We didn't learn from the first time, so we're like, let's do it
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
There probably won't be a third time for me playing LeFou. Okay, good. I like that there's crossovers too. It shows that we all
yeah.
kind of have same interests too. And in different ways. Sometimes it's just the connection of watching the show, you know, and seeing it. It doesn't have to be either being in it or just, you know, I heard the soundtrack and it really kind of stood with me. All right, Aaron Moreland, what is your number 5?
Well, this one would have been my number. If you would have asked me a year ago, it would have probably been my number 2. But things have changed.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
But anyway, I've always loved this musical. I think it gets some hate, but it's really the only Andrew Lloyd Webber show that I like. And it's Jesus Christ Superstar. I love it.
I thought it.
I knew that was going to be on your list.
I know. I was like, it's not 2 now. So,
Yeah,
but I knew it was there.
It's yeah, just the music. I mean, it's rock. I like rock and roll, and it's just got some amazing just vocal chop. I mean, you got to have vocal chops to be singing that stuff, and it's amazing. I would love to play Judas or Jesus. Much like Aaron said about Wicked, you know, Jesus, I think there's just one part in one song that I'm like, man, I can't sing it. It's just right on top, just right past my range, just slightly past it. But, you know, so I don't know if I could do it. And I'm starting to get a little long in the tooth to play Jesus since he, you know.
Dude, Ted Neely played it forever.
True.
I mean, he's not like he's dead, but that man, I saw Ted Neely. He came to a theater. He thought, it came to a theater in Maryville, Indiana, where my cousins lived, and I was obsessed with Jesus Christ Superstar, and I got to see Ted Neely.
Awesome.
Jesus, and it was awesome.
Yeah. There's so many great songs in it, and just it's amazing. And what's funny is that my first introduction to it is the movie that they made, which is which
Mine
looking
too.
back on it though, it's an absolutely bizarre movie with, you know, with the way the costuming is, and then they've got guns and tanks, and then I don't know, but there's something special about it. I love it.
We have that on LP. We got that as on a vinyl, and I have. Remember, I showed you all those playbills. I have the original playbill that this guy went and saw the original cast of that show.
Now, I used to have one of the original LPs as well, but I don't have any of those. Is that in our collection? I mean, this was in high school that I had, you know, the brown two
Yep, that's what ours is.
record brown LP of it. Do you still have any of those old records, Mom?
Do I? No.
Yeah.
That means no. Do I? That means no, I don't.
Darn it. Oh, well.
All right. So, Kate, what
have
is
it anymore.
your number 5?
My number 5, there it was. Sorry. My number 5 is Into the Woods.
Good.
It was my first exposure to Stephen Sondheim, and I listened to it constantly. I love the music. I love that it kind of turns fairy tales on its ears. I love that it's an allegory for some kind of stuff, and the music is just beautiful. I would play literally anyone in that show.
I would love to see you as Little Red or the Baker's Dozen.
Male or female, I would play anyone in that show.
Yeah.
It's so good, and I never get tired of listening to it. And I think it's really cool. One thing I really love about it, I've seen it a couple times. I love how people have different visions for it. I don't think everybody's visions like necessarily work for it, but I think it's kind of cool that you can always kind of work with it and update it if you want to, or kind of put your own spin on it.
And you don't stop the show after Act 1, because otherwise...
No, you don't stop the show after Act 1.
Unless you're doing it for children.
Actually,
and even then the kids don't actually learn the lessons that the show is meant to
Into the Woods Junior is really good though. It's actually like my #1 show that I wish we would do.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be amazing, and I think we could have a lot of fun.
It would be
with
like our
visuals
Wizard of Oz,
and
Beauty
stuff.
and the Beast, and all.
Yeah, I
the
just think
things
it would
with
be
the
really cool.
magic. It would be
Yeah.
fantastic. My #5, funny story. I saw this show. I did not want to see this show.
Oh, here we go.
I was adamant that I did not want to see this show.
You went in with a mood, didn't you?
I was legit trying to sell my ticket before I went to go so I could go see another show.
Yes, he was.
And I'm glad I stuck with it, because it is my #5 show of all time. This show is amazing.
The suspense.
I know, right? Kate knows.
It's killing me.
It's Dear Evan Hansen. Dear Evan
Mm.
Hansen is amazing. It is fantastic. It is wonderful. It is painful. It hits you to a core. You ride an emotional wave. The kid who has to play that part, I don't care if you're 17, between the ages of 17 and 25, and you play that part, that show is going to rock you every night. Like, you're going to be done with that show. When they've done lists of top 10 hardest characters, like lead roles to play. It's in there. It's in the top 10.
Wow.
The mental breakdowns of these things, there's so much humor in it. It's time. This is a show that's going to be timeless, because I guarantee there's still going to be kids that feel like this forever. And this show should be something that speaks to them over and over again. I mean, if I would have had this when I was in high school, wow. I mean, I might be a whole other person. But it's amazing. And it's the same people that did the music for Greatest Showman, which is meh. And they did La La Land. They've done...
They did James and the Giant Peach.
James and the Giant Peach. They did the Christmas Story musical. So they're on a roll with what they're doing. But it's a fantastic show. And again, just like Hamilton, I think everyone should see that show.
Can I please tell the story about the Tonys?
Okay, no.
Okay.
I mean, during the Tonys, I was not happy, and I couldn't watch him.
And he was like, and everybody is just going to win everything, and I don't even want to see this show when I go to New York. And oh my gosh, like, I can't believe it. Like, he was literally like mad. He was mad.
Hard to watch. Okay, now, in my defense, it is hard to watch him sing Ben Platt. It's hard to watch him sing this song, Waving Through the Window, because he has so many little nervous tics that he does during the song. And if you don't understand what the backstory is of his character, and it's only the second song in the show, but immediately after you see the first thing in the show, you go, that's why he's like this.
That's why he's behaving like this, yeah.
It's kind of annoying to watch, but as soon as you understand it, it's like, I'm in. Take me on a ride. Now, of course, I had a screwdriver while I was watching the show, but that did not have any effect on it whatsoever. So that is my #5, Dear Evan Hansen. So now we are in #4. Susan Moreland, you're #4.
And I think here's where we really are going to get into a lot of crossovers now.
Okay.
Because I think probably everything I have left has already been mentioned.
Okay, that's still
But
good though.
again, it's still a wonderful #4, and it's Little Shop.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just love Little Shop, everything
So good.
about it. You know, it's a little dark, but in a fun way, very fun darkness.
I have a tendency to like the musicals that are dark. I'm not a big bubblegum jazz hands kind of musical guy. I like,
None of my
like the
none of
ones
my
that
shows
tell
are
it.
the old timey 1950s 40s. show.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a
But I
niche
agree
for
with that
that.
one.
It's just not me. But that's a good show.
Mhm.
You might see it on my list, but I actually might have not put it on my list because I had to rewrite my list quickly because I left it at home. So cool.
You can make up whatever you want now.
At this point, it was like, it's 1 through it's all of them, 1 through 10.
Mhm.
Is Little Shop of Horrors. Okay, so Aaron Moreland, what is your number 4?
You know, this one I actually saw on Broadway in 1989 when I went to New York City.
I know this.
For,
I would hope so. You're his mother.
you did. I did live with you at the time.
When were
And
you
I probably
born in
talked about it.
1989?
So yeah, the marching band went to New York. We marched in the St. Patrick's Day Parade, and we went to a couple shows, and this was one of them, and it was amazing. And especially, I mean, it was in its heyday in '89, so it was pretty, you know, it was great. And you know, it wasn't going to be this high on my list until recently because Luna's been bugging me to see the movie that's been out for a while on it. So I finally watched it and I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot how much I love the music in this. And that's Les Miserables. That is
Except for Russell Crowe.
yeah. No. But, you know,
And
it's
I
an
can't even
amazing
believe
show.
that I forgot to put that one on my list at all.
Oh, wow.
And I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's a punch in the gut just constantly. And but it's so beautiful. So
It
much
is.
agony, but so much.
It is one of my dream shows. I
It is.
know, you know, I know Bruce doesn't like dream shows, but it's one of my top shows that I would love to perform in.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would love to play either one of the two male leads in that one. Phenomenal show. Great music.
Mhm.
Kate.
Great story.
Kate Ernsberger. Yeah, and anyone who says they've read the book, you're lying. You're lying. You got through some of it. You skimmed, you flipped a couple pages. You didn't read it. Kate Ernsberger, what is your number 4?
My number 4
Oh, I'm doing
is
good with the rhyming.
very, very old. A lot of people probably won't like it. It's dated, but it was actually my very first like school show that I ever made it into. And my number 4 is My Fair Lady.
I knew what this one was gonna
I
I thought
love
this would
My
be
Fair
higher, but
Lady.
I think I know where you're going now.
It's my like I've always loved it. I've loved it since I was in middle school. I would still love to play Eliza. I love the music.
I
You'd
think
be
a lot of
you would
fun,
be a
too. It is
fantastic
Be
Eliza.
awesome as Eliza.
at this point, at this day and age, like it is really dated, but I still think it's a
It
classic
doesn't
story.
matter. I love
it.
I actually love that movie. I love that movie. I love that
It's
show.
so fun.
My favorite thing about that though is the fact that they dubbed Audrey Hepburn because they didn't think that Julia Andrews was a big enough star. So she went and did Mary Poppins, and Audrey Hepburn did My Fair Lady, and guess who won the Oscar
Yep.
then? That's right.
I think I remember my son being Henry Higgins in high school.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
Yes,
So
he's
you'd
told
be
me
a
this
good
story.
Henry Higgins.
Well, I contemplated putting this on my list. It would definitely be in, you know, just above the top 10, somewhere in there between.
It is in
11
my
and
top
15.
25 probably.
It's really funny too because you know, back when I did that, it was 90. Was it my senior? No, it was my junior. So it was 91 that I did
was
that.
8.
And there was someone took a video of it at my high school production of it, and it's really a little cringy to watch because my little high school voice.
Right?
Yeah, I would love to
Running
play.
in
I would love to
space,
play
nice,
Alfie
baby.
Doolittle, and you as Henry Higgins and Kate as Eliza. I think it would be
That would be awesome. I would,
would be
totally
awesome.
love to play Henry Higgins again and do it not as a high schooler.
Yeah.
be actually the
I know.
age
I'd like.
of
I'd
Henry
like to be
Higgins.
in it and not be in middle school. We did it
Yeah.
in middle school.
Well, and Laura Benatti is just a little bit older than you. I mean, she was 30. What did I say? She was 38 or 39 when she just recently did
39.
it in the revival.
but nobody does it because it's like 3 hours long.
It is a
and I
long show,
understand.
but there are better. There are. We've performed worse shows that are just as long.
Yeah.
So my number 4 is where I moved. I moved Adam's Family to number 7, and moved this to number 4. My number 4 is a crossover with Aaron Moreland, and it is also Les Miserables. I love that show. That show is amazing. I will do anything to play Thénardier, anything.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I will
that's-
have
that's
Kate as
perfect
my
role for
Mrs. Thénardier, Madame Thénardier, whatever they want to call her. And I would actually, if I could, I would love to play Javert, but I just don't think I can. So I would
you.
love
Yeah. And Luna, she totally wants to be in this show.
Yeah.
She sings it around the house constantly. Such a
Yeah.
great show.
I would love to play that off of you. I would love to do that confrontation song.
Yeah.
Off of you. So that is.
You guys should just do like a Zoom of that.
Why can't we
You
just
guys
do
should
stuff
work
like that,
on it.
Aaron? We need to do that stuff. We're not doing
I
anything
know.
else.
I really think you should.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
We're bored,
Yeah.
Aaron. We need stuff to do.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
We ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
I'm not leaving the house.
So
My quarantine hair and beard.
I did finally get a haircut, though. I'm glad I got a haircut.
I'm just growing mine long. I'm just gonna,
So you can play Jesus?
so I can play Jesus and Jesus Christ Superstar. It's gonna be down the middle of my back.
Okay, so we are now in the top 3. This is like the big time. This is the top number 3. So what is Susan's number 3 show of all
Well,
time?
of course, we've discussed this multiple times tonight already, but I'm going to have to say Shrek.
Oh wow,
Mhm.
that's up high.
Wow.
good.
Yeah.
It's up high, and it's up high because it's just such a fun show, with
It
all the
is.
humor for the adults and the kids and the storyline, and just even being in the chorus was a pure
It's
pleasure.
one of the most. It's
in that
one of the most fun times I mean, I always like being in the chorus, but like it is one of the most fun times I've ever had.
Oh yeah, and
the
then the
chorus.
big finale at the end
Oh,
where
it's
everybody's
my
just
favorite,
rocking
yes.
down the house.
Yeah.
So much fun, so much fun.
Yeah,
It's
a
great being
phenomenal-
on your knees for long and doing jumping jacks.
Well,
You
somebody
loved
somebody had to bite the bullet and do it, Ian, and
You
we're glad
loved
you
it.
did.
It's
Yeah.
the role that keeps on giving because you'll be reminded of it when your arthritis.
Exactly. When I can't stand up.
Yeah.
When they called back Joe Bell and I looked at Joe and I said, "Well, you got to get on your knees." He said, "I'm not doing that." He just looked at me and said, "I'm not getting on my knees." He's like, I don't even know why I'm up here. Okay, Aaron, what is your number 4, sir?
I have you to blame for this one.
I think we're
Oh.
number 3.
Is this number 3?
This is
Sorry,
number
number
3.
3.
Yeah,
Number
yeah,
3.
yeah. I've got you to blame for this one.
This is really got
The
that
music
high?
is crazy good. It's been
Wow.
crawling up because I seriously listen to it all the time in the house.
Have you
now.
watched any bootlegs? Because the bootlegs
I've watched scenes of it, and some of the there's one with these hanging lights that
Mhm.
and Orpheus. It's Hades Town. It's amazing.
You're
Obviously
welcome.
Orpheus is an amazing role. I'm a little too old for it, but his songs are absolutely gorgeous. A year ago we were going to Origins Game Fair, and I think not Origins. I always say Origins. Gen Con.
No, we're going to Origins. Gen Con.
Oh,
This is
what's that?
Origins.
All right, that's for the board game podcast that we're going to do.
Okay.
No,
we
Origins
are.
Game Fair, and you put this on, and I wouldn't let you play anything else after you first started playing
Yep.
this. So, yeah,
That
keep doing
first
Play it.
horn, that just like bump 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 bump, and it just
Yeah.
catches you, and you're like, okay, I'm in.
Yes.
Let's see where this
So
goes.
I mean, and that's the character that I would love to play too. There's just so many. The songs are amazing.
But see, you'd be good as Hermes too.
Yeah, that's what I would want to.
Yeah, I mean that's you can't do the Patrick Page part because nobody got that voice.
Yeah,
Nobody's
yeah.
got that
Yeah.
that bass voice.
No, yeah, I can't do that. But yeah, Hermes is who I would want to play. That his songs are amazing. He's the narrator. It's fantastic.
That's really good.
80s Town. 80s Town.
Wow, that's why I kept it at 8, because I just haven't seen it, but it would probably be up there, probably, if I see it. Kate, what is your number 3?
Okay, so it's kind of a tie. Because I couldn't decide. I'm sorry, I couldn't decide.
He's breaking the rules, guys.
All right, fine. I'll just
Don't
pick
break the
one.
rules.
No, it's fine. You can do a tie.
Okay. Aaron said don't break the rules, though.
No, you're fine.
This is a tie. My number 3, are actually both going to be crossovers. But my number 3 is a tie between Jesus Christ Superstar and Les Mis.
Okay. Okay.
Jesus Christ Superstar I was obsessed with it, and of all things, in 3rd grade, my mom found the VHS of it like at Jewel, which is like the Illinois Kroger, and was like, I think you'd like this, and at this point, I loved musicals, I loved Disney, but I had heard like Annie and Sound of Music and all that, and I think my mom regretted the day she ever brought it home, because for like the next year, I listened to it nonstop. And was obsessed.
Yeah. You heard me sing this nonstop, Mom, didn't you?
Like, I don't know what that says about me being in like 3rd grade and being obsessed with Jesus Christ Superstar, but it was. There you have it.
It's not drugs, so I mean, anything that's not drugs.
And it's one of those ones, and it's so high up on my list because like I never get tired of it ever. Yeah. Like, and I'm always finding new things, and it is one of my. I do this all the time, but again, I would play anybody in that show.
Yeah.
Male or female. Yeah. Like, I would love to play one of the Pharisees. I would love to play Judas.
Who'd you say I should play in that? What am I supposed to play in that or sing in that? You said I was supposed to sing a song in that.
Herod?
You'd be a really good Herod, yeah.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah. But it's good. And then it is tied because I just couldn't find another place with all my other musicals. It's tied with Les Mis, like I said. Kind of for similar reasons. It's just Les Mis is so epic and sweeping. And I get that some people are like, it's overrated and everybody loves Les Mis. But there's a reason for that. The music is great. The characters are very compelling. I really like it. So yeah.
Awesome.
Good
Awesome.
choices.
That's a good.
Sorry for cheating.
That's a good. Yeah. Sorry for breaking all the rules. Okay, so my number 3 is a crossover with Aaron Haba, my daughter, and I have seen this show twice. I have seen it in Canada at the Pantages Theater, and I have seen it in Columbus. And I have been listening to this music since I was probably 7. It is my holy grail. It is my unattainable. It is Phantom of the Opera. Music of the Night is one of the most, if not the most beautiful song ever written. It's 6 minutes long. And it's just him singing. And it's so good. Everything about the show, it was the first wow factor show back then, because when it premiered, there wasn't anything like that. There wasn't that spectacle. There weren't candles coming from the floor. There wasn't a boat coming on stage and Michael Crawford being terrified that it might fall off the stage every night because, some guy below the stage is using a remote control for an RCA, car. It was ahead of its time. The chandelier, that opening is so quiet. It's just you hear the gavel, they start talking about an auction and you're like, what is this? And then that's just that bum, 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 bum. There's nothing like that in any musical, I think, ever, with that kind of, that spectacle, that just like, here you go. And it's haunting, it's beautiful. There's fire on the stage, there's a chandelier that falls. There's just so much it's creepy because it's got she's supposed to be what, 16, 15, 16? I don't remember. The Phantom is, we don't know ages for him, but it was played by Michael Crawford, so he's pretty old at the time. But it's fantastic. It's one of my all-time favorite shows I've ever seen. And I know that I will never be good enough to do that show, but man, do I want to do that show. So that's my number 3.
Yeah, I don't know. There was so much hype about it, and when I saw it, I was like, yeah.
And I think that's the thing. There is a lot of that. And you like the rock opera, which is the same person. It's Andrew Lloyd Webber. It's his rock version. This is his opera. But there's still, I mean, the guitar in
Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera, when all of a sudden you're just, they're singing this pretty song and it's just this, like mystical song. And then all of a sudden you just hear, or you're going, what is that? Okay. So he kind of slips some of that rock in to kind of give a harshness to the Phantom, and there's something about it. So that's my number 3. So number 2, Susan Moreland. What do you got for number 2?
Well, super duper big crossover.
Okay.
I think everybody's already mentioned that. But that would be no. This is you, isn't it? Okay, that would be Addams Family.
Oh.
Okay. I don't think it's an Aaron's. It's not an Aaron's.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
okay. But the other Aaron had it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the other Aaron had it.
Yes.
And again, it's one of those that is pretty special to me, just having been in it, and just standing backstage and hearing that ba-da-ba-bum, it just gets you going. And
That's also has a great introduction. Great introduction.
Thoroughly enjoyable to be a part of and enjoyable to just watch. I mean, visually an awesome show.
It's come a long way to make it good, but it's worth it now the way it is. It's just
it's really good.
It is awesome.
Just there's so many jokes, dirty jokes that are in it that kids don't get, but then stuff that they still like, like just the sword fighting, Lurch, the spider, Pugsley, Wednesday with the torture machine.
And
a lot of fun stuff.
I guess what I love about it so much, like beyond the music and stuff, and what really made it special to me when we did it is it's all about like family and loving
first
your
and
family
family
like
last.
for who they are. Like, and I just
Family
think it's such a
by.
special, like, I don't know, it's just a really neat message about like love and acceptance, and I like that.
Love and acceptance, and that which reminds me of Shrek as well.
Exactly, yeah. Well, and I like that too because I think it's a good message too, because especially in Addams Family and Shrek actually too, it doesn't always look like you expect or like how society may see it, but it's still there and important.
All right, Aaron Moreland, your number 2.
My number 2 is actually something I did in college. Not a lot of people will be aware of this one. It's more of a musical review, but it's got some really just amazing songs. It's called Jacques Brel is Alive and Well and Living in Paris.
I listened to it, Aaron, and I really like it.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Maybe it goes during my formative college years that I love it so much, but there are so many just timeless songs in there that are commentaries on war and life and poverty, and I think every single song in it still rings true today. I would do this show in a heartbeat. I want to do this show again. I would love to direct it. And normally you do it with 2 males, 2 females, but I would probably break that out into 3 and 3. When I did it in college, we did 3 males, 2 females. It's an amazing show. Some great songs. Not sure how today's audience maybe would like it, but I don't care. I like it. I would still do it. Fantastic. Yeah, so that's it.
Kate, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is very mainstream, and I feel like I should apologize for it. But I want to do this show. I want to be in this show. I love the music. My number 2 is Wicked.
It's a good show. It has.
I know
music.
a lot of people, and I get it. I know a lot of people feel like it's overdone, and a lot of the songs from it were, but I love the tie-in, obviously, to Wizard of Oz. I love the way they staged it. Steven really knows how to write a musical. It's just really good. And I love the music in it. Like even the chorus music. I actually think it's kind of underrated.
And
Some of the
strong
big
female leads. Strong.
chorus. Yes, yeah. And truly, I think like there's just really interesting ballads going on in there.
Harmonies and everything.
Harmonies, and I think it's kind of cool.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I
For, if we were to do like top 10 songs, For Good would probably be in my top 5.
I do like it, and I have seen it. I got to watch it with Bruce. The downside of watching it with Bruce was going, look, they're hooking her up. Do you see that? That's what they're hooking her up so she can go and get the flying. I'm like, I know it's the end of Act 1. I'm assuming she's gonna fly in the air and look really cool, but I want to listen to the song.
Kind of ruins the magic show.
It's the magic. And then he goes, I think something might be wrong with the flying monkeys because they're not flying. And I know that they were supposed to fly because I've seen video of them flying. I'm like, I don't care. I'm watching the show.
Well, and I don't think they can fly on every theater.
They can't.
So.
And it is a good show. It is a great, I love my K-Chen. And Adina is just amazing. So it's a very good show. Okay, so my number 2 is a show that is, I don't even know. I love this show. I love the movie. I love everything about this show. If I could do this show a dozen times, I don't think I would ever get bored with it. I would play every character in it. I would play, it doesn't matter. I would do the show over and over again. I would run the show until I die. The Producers. This thing is it's Young Frankenstein. No, it's funny, but it's nowhere near as good. He hit every note. You've got Max Bialystock and with Nathan Lane. You've got Matthew Broderick. You had so many great characters. Roger Debris, Keep It Gay, the song. I mean, some of it's not PC, but that was the whole point of the show. It's mocking everything and everyone. It's theater. It's mocking theater. It's mocking, racism. It's Nazis. It's just, but it does it in a way. It's a satire that just hits on every cylinder. And the songs are great. The dance numbers are great. If we did this show here, holy crap, it would be amazing. People would love it. There'd be a lot of people that would hate it, but there would be a lot of people that would be like, this is good. This is funny.
I think
this is
right
smart. This is something that I've never seen before. That's not afraid to hit you with something, but do it in such a funny way that you don't care. But just all the old ladies. There's a chorus line of old ladies that do a
With
kick
the
line
walkers.
with the walkers. It's
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant. Springtime for Hitler. There is not a bad song in that show. There's not a down moment in that show. There's nothing wrong with that show. That is almost just the perfect show when it comes to a comedy, especially. It's great. That's why I think Spamalot wasn't on my list, because I do love Spamalot, but Producers just knocks that out of the park. And Book of Mormon is not on my list either. And that was that I know that is in my top 20 though. It's up there. But that Producers, I would play.
Yeah, this one was close on my list. I'm just my lack of familiarity with it, really, but what I have seen of it was fantastic.
Now the movie is okay. It's that show's so hard to film, but
right.
Man, it's so good that they even parodied it on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay.
So if it got so big that they could do a whole season of a show around Larry David being having to play Max Bialystock, going through other actors because he upset them, and then you realize that in the end, the last episode is them doing the show because Mel Brooks wants it to fail because he's so tired of how popular it's become. He's producing his own producers.
That's hilarious.
That's how big and how good and how popular this show is.
That's amazing.
So that's my number 2. So now we have reached the point of number 1. Do you want to do a little drum thing, Aaron? You want to do a little beatbox, maybe? I don't know. That was a
Number
terrible
one.
beatbox. That was a
was.
horrible
That
I
was-
couldn't actually hear that beatbox
There was
going.
no beatbox. Okay, so Susan Moreland, what is your number one musical of all time?
Well, let me give it a little build up here first. Crack my knuckles a little bit and dig in. Because I always loved dance, and one of the first musicals I ever saw was this particular musical, which was heavy in dance. Then this has to be my favorite. And I know that they made a movie out of this musical, but it really can't be done because it is a chorus line.
Thought it was Brigadoon.
And it is, these people were here auditioning for the show on the Bear stage. The whole story takes place on the Bear stage.
Yeah.
You find out about their lives, their loves, and everything in between. And but then at the very end, you are absolutely treated to this big spectacle of the dance number that everybody has seen and knows. And I just love it.
Yeah. And it's great music. It
It
would be
is.
great
It
to
is.
Badoo,
It
but we
really
just don't
is.
have the talent here to do that show.
No,
We take a
I-
lot of
Yeah, the
recruiting.
dance is
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
heavy
But
in
it's
it. Yeah.
it's a fantastic show. It really is.
I love
It
that show.
really
I
is.
would love to be in that show, but I can't dance like that.
I like the revival more than the original soundtrack. The revival's cast. Their version of What I Did for Love sounds better because I think it had time to process over all those years. So theater people could see the show because it is very much a theater people show.
yes.
It is. Yeah.
So these actors that grew up listening and going through all these auditions and being told no and why they love it and why they just keep going on, I think that's why that song What I Did for Love has more resonance now than it did then, because these actors that are doing it were like, I was this person, I'm in the show. So I think I think back then it was just a very pretty song. It was very well sung. It still had that heart, but it's been able to evolve and grow as the actors themselves have grown over the years. So that's a good number one. That's a good number one.
Thank you.
Aaron, what were you gonna say? You just said thank
He
you.
said thank you.
Good, thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to have a good number one. Aaron Moreland, what
Well,
is
I
your
know
number one?
I know everyone on this podcast is going to know exactly what my number one is.
Did you audition, by the way, for the virtual cabaret of this show?
I didn't see that.
They're
They
doing
have
it.
one.
You have till Sunday.
Oh, then I will probably do that. Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd is
Yeah.
number one. No doubt about it. It is number one in my book, Sweeney Todd. I've played the judge with you, Kate, and you, Ian. But my goal is to play Sweeney. Got to play Sweeney one of these days, for sure.
That was a good show. And it is a good show. Now, unfortunately, I had to take Bruce to go see the worst version of it, but it was still one of my favorite shows. Seeing a box as the mother or as his wife, it's a little tiny box that he carries around. And when he dies, when he kills people, they put on lab coats and just walk and start playing the instruments because they were trying to save money. You don't save money with Sweeney Todd. There's nothing to it. It's everybody walking around and a centerpiece. There's no reason that you need to save money. It just doesn't work. It did not work at all. It was terrible. So Kate, I think we all know what Kate's number one is too, right? I think.
Probably pretty obvious. So I also feel like this is one that will change over the years, but right now my number one musical is very mainstream. And a lot of people I guess have I think Aaron Moreland said this, did you say this, Ian? I can't remember. Is not popular anymore.
I did, yes.
So my number one is Hamilton.
Wow.
For so many reasons. Actually, when I first heard it, I thought I wasn't gonna like it, which kind of surprised me because I had really enjoyed In the Heights. But the more I listened to it,
I will say I'm surprised that was not in your top 10.
yeah, my top 10, sorry to digress, could change on like any given day. This is really hard. Like I should have given myself a week to probably do this. But no, number one is Hamilton. I just love the different musical stylings they put into it. I love that it told an important story in a very different way. I love that it brought I love that it made musical theater accessible to people who might not necessarily be like, listen to this musical about a founding father, and people would be like, no. And I think it's kind of neat because I've heard stories and read stories about people listening to Hamilton and then kind of going into more like traditional musical theater because they were like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I love that it made history more accessible to a lot of people. That's important to me.
In an
I
interesting
love
way,
so much
too.
about it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, like the revolutionary period of America is one of my favorite points of our history. I think it's fascinating. I think the characters are fascinating. I really like everything about it, and I really do. And it's one again too. So many of them, I never get tired of listening to it. I'm kind of always hearing something new. It always gets me like jacked up and excited when I'm listening to it. So yeah, Hamilton is my number one.
That's a good number one.
Good
We all
choice.
have good number one.
I need to experience it.
You do. You do very much need to listen to it. Okay, so and you have what, a month and a half before you get to actually see it with the original cast. Okay, so my number one, because I had to kind of redo my list because I left my list at the house.
I could have just read them to you.
I wasn't gonna. Nah.
I'm kidding.
I wanted you to see the order that I had everything in. But my number one, now that I have to go back and think about it, and it might come as a shock to a lot of you, actually, now that I've rethought of this list. My number one musical of all time is Little Shop of Horrors. You knew that was coming. It was no shock. It was
wow.
No shock. Don't give.
I don't think I knew that it was your number one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did.
Yeah. Little Shop of Horrors has been a show that I was way too young when I saw the movie. I was like 4 because the movie came out in '86. I think I saw it in like '89. So I was 5. That show, because I knew it was the guy from. The only reason I knew it was because it was the guy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's how I knew who Rick Moranis was. So when I saw the movie, I was like, this is really cool and the plant's really neat. And then I liked the music, but then as it kind of went on, the show itself morphed into just this B-movie, horror, comedy, tragic villains and tragic heroes. And it's just, there was a lot to it. And I think there was more to it. But the Greek chorus, everything about it was fun for me. And I liked that the villain wins. Spoilers. But I liked that the villain wins. And the way when we did it, I didn't want Seymour to be just a nerd because that's how everyone plays him. I do not like the new version that they have done. I like Christian Borle. I do not like the new version. I very, very much do not like the new version that is off Broadway right now. But I think it's because they don't play to the realism of the characters. The more real we played these people, the more tragic they were, and the more the funnier they could be too. It's a good show.
Hey, Ian, I think you just convinced us we're all going to change our number one to Little Shop.
Yeah.
My number one now. In fact, it's 10 through 1 now.
Sorry.
All of it.
Sorry, I could go on for hours about that show, but it's the same thing with it's the same
really
thing with
is.
Chorus Line for You. It has kind of a special meaning to me to see, like, because I am kind of a nerd, and a little bit of an outcast. And a lot of that I did to myself. But to see that character and go, I could do that and make it fun for me. And it's kind of like a nice therapy almost to do. So yeah, that is the top 10 favorite musicals from Ian Ernsberger, Susan Moreland, Aaron Moreland, and Kate Redfield Ernsberger. The thing about this is just to keep showing MTV Arts and the Alcove Dinner Theater are still going. We're still coming up with content for people. We're just showing a different side of it. We can't perform for you, but we can tell you about ourselves and give you a little inside information into all of our lives, and just to kind of make it more fun for the audience to see a different side of us. So that is the idea. This is apparently called the hashtag Making Theater Podcast. So yeah, thank you all for coming and doing this.
And there you have it, our top 10 favorite musicals of all time. Not too many surprises since we know a lot about each other, but this podcast isn't for us, it's for you. So hopefully you learned a little bit about us. Maybe you'll listen to some of our choices and get a new favorite musical yourself. Next week, I'll be doing a one-on-one interview with a special guest, so make sure to check it out on YouTube and Facebook under MTV Arts. Be sure to like the YouTube video, follow MTV Arts and Bruce Jacklin & Company on Facebook, and share and comment to let us know what you thought. Until next time, I'm your host, Ian Ernsberger, and we'll see you for the next one.